I won't say the contractor, and they had one night security guard that was always there, and they just showed, because they used to have some dogs in the yard, and there was about 8 of them, and the car park was quite big, and he got to halfway from the car park, and these dogs were on him. What they've done is to start dragging the guy, pulling the guy, he starts pulling him, the guy's like, what? But anyway, dogs are still having him, you know? He's thinking, what? Why did I jump up this bed?
I haven't got to the point where I'm actually watching myself being robbed live on stream.
That is discreet.
What do you find is the best deterrent today? Is it the man and dog, the tech?
You've got those cameras all around the site, and you back that up with a guard on site. You know that the guard knows what he's going into, doesn't he? Yeah. What he's up against, rather than walking around in the old days, you walk around a container and someone puts a shovel over your head.
Yeah.
And so that's a good innovation. What's the future then? Do you know what the future is?
I think the thing that does my head in at the moment is the price of food. You go to take the family out for a meal, like a McDonald's, for example, 40 quid for a McDonald's for a family of 4, and you think to yourself, 20 years ago that was like 10 quid. So.
Well, steak used to be like 13, 14 quid, now it's 30 quid, isn't it?
Yeah, steak's gone right up.
That ain't happened in the last 2 years. That's happened in, well, I think COVID, everything went mad, didn't it?
I also wondered as well, with regards to like people just wearing like balaclavas and things, like how easy is it to like track those people down?
You told me a story once where the site manager was off, and a replacement site manager tried to come to site, and your guard refused him access. He weren't allowed on, and he.
A bit like today when we were trying to get into Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie. Couldn't get in.
We couldn't get in.
Yeah, till we bribed the farmer. Yeah.
What challenges do you see now at the moment? What's your hardest challenge at the moment as the industry changes and turns?
The opinions expressed within this podcast are solely the individuals and do not reflect the opinions and beliefs of the sponsors or its affiliates.
Anyway, look, welcome, Carl.
Thank you.
We'll cut that out, obviously, because your customers might not appreciate that. I'll use that for my own little bit of readiness. So we are digging deep, and I hope today we're going to dig right into what you're all about, and have a bit of the crack, as they say.
That's it, absolutely,
We always, I'll take it we're all right, are we? Yeah. We always start off with our theme, which is like what's doing your head in, and we talk about many things. I spoke about, I think I'm not quite sued by McDonald's yet, but I think I have been doorstepped by one of them. No, not you, get out. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was 2 cheeseburgers. I did ask for 2 cheeseburgers. No, honestly, no, you didn't. But yeah, when we talk about things like that, don't we, Mark? And Charlie, and nothing
Absolutely.
does Charlie's head in, I don't think, really. I think he's the most laid-back person ever.
It's all good.
And we'll probably hopefully have a bit of an update now he's moved in with his bungalow project. I mean, this was like, I'm not talking about going over budget as much as HS2, but nearly. It definitely got reined back in. Yeah. I've seen he's cycled in this morning, hasn't he, Robert? I think the electric Mercedes is gone because of that.
Absolutely.
It must be a money pit.
Yeah, Brighton.
I think doing a house up is a money pit, and you probably got all your assets and possessions on eBay now. To pay for the new mirror.
Yeah, I actually sold a lot in the house as well, like the old stuff as well, to help fund some of it, and that was alright. That did me alright.
I love what you said about it, and you said you traded in that to get that.
Yeah.
And so there's that program, like get my shit out of my attic type of program. I think we should do that. He should come around my house and start with that anyway. We should do like an on the road scene with Charlie. Charlie will get rid of your shit.
Yeah, but do you know what he'll do? You'll come home and you'll have no radiators. He's way more.
Some dodgy one.
The house is
120 for that. You only paid 80 for that.
You'll just have all the pipes. All the pipes have just been cut off on the ends. All the radiators are gone. You've got no fucking heat. But by the way, you've got £1,000.
But you go around his house. You look like, that's my fucking radiator. He's taking his shit one off and put it on mine.
That's it, the boiler's gone and all, by the way.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so that's what we get on with. So what's been doing your heading, Cole? Let us know. Come on.
Oh, I think the thing that does my head in at the moment is the price of food. You go to take the family out for a meal, like a McDonald's, for example. 40 quid for a McDonald's for a family of 4, and you think to yourself, 20 years ago that was like 10 quid. So
Well, steak used to be like 13, 14 quid. Now it's 30 quid, isn't it?
Yeah, steak's gone right up.
That ain't happened in the last 2 years. That's happened in, well, I think COVID, everything went mad, didn't it?
it's not just that as well, it's the portion sizes. I mean, the things you get now, it's like half the size of what it used to be.
Yeah. Because there was a guy. He's got like a I don't know if it's a YouTube channel or something like that, and he said he says one year ago is this is like I'm just using this example, Fairy Liquid 500ml a pound, and then what they've done is they've reshaped the bottle so it looks the same, slightly different shape, but it's now 400ml, £1.10. So you think it's gone up 10p, but you've actually lost 100ml.
Wow.
And he'd done that with loads of stuff. He'd done it with washing powders,
Chocolate
soaps, chocolate bars. He'd done, and he was showing you how they've changed the portion sizes. But so the portion size has come down, but the price has gone up.
Yeah, well, look, I used to be as a diabetic. I used to get away with 1 chocolate bar. Now I've got to have 4.
That's just greedy.
But that's how it's gone, because you used to have you could have extra large and all that. Then the government changed the rules around it, so then you had this duo thing going on, didn't you?
Yeah.
You know, I think if things keep going the way they are, we're gonna have quad. You know, can I have a packet of quad Mars bars, please?
So you feel yeah. Sorry, go. Sorry.
It's a bit like the old B.A. Brackus on the Snickers adverts. You used to get the Snickers and it was like a brick in your hand, but nowadays it's like a little pencil.
Yeah.
Well, the Yorkie advert. It's not for girls. It fucking is now, isn't it? Isn't it?
It's one that makes me
I
laugh.
cut that
It's
bit
for
out.
anyone who wants one.
The wagger
Whatever
wheel.
pronoun you want to be.
Listen, the thing, the wagger wheel, which is obviously named after a wagon wheel, isn't it? More like a coaster. They ought to rename that. What coaster?
So you've been striped up recently, then? That's what you say.
Yeah.
You know, like
totally.
going out for the meal with the missus now. Is it?
I'm going to have to leave the kids at home now.
No, but that's a fact. Well, you got to go out with a meal with your missus now. You've got to have a running jump, haven't you? You've got to build up to it. You know, put a couple of quid away every week to be able to afford it.
If you go out as two of you, right, and assuming you only have 1 or 2 drinks each, if you go to a reasonable restaurant, I'm not talking about anything extravagant, a reasonable restaurant, it's 100 quid for 2 of you.
Yeah. It's mad. It is mad.
Easy 100 quid.
And going out on a night out as well. I don't know if you boys been on many nights out recently, but
We're not young.
I mean, yeah, that costs an arm and a leg as well. You know, like it's like 7 quid for a pint in some places. Like I'm
You'll
like,
have to
what
sell
the?
your Bentley,
What,
wouldn't you?
do you know what I mean? Yeah, honestly, yeah. He listens.
I met a couple of buddies. Shout out to Wayne and Rodney, my mates. We met down in London. That was it. £8 for a pint of Moretti. £8. But I don't, you know, £8. That seems a bit.
Even what is it like?
Just from a standard pub.
When you what was it? I like the like IPAs, like the like Brewdog and them sort of beers, right? And you get like a pack of 4, and they're 6 quid now. Like, which I just think is mad as well. Like that, they used to be like £4.50.
Yeah,
now they're 6 quid.
If Brewdog
I'm like,
are listening and want to, send some beers,
Yeah,
over,
feel free to do that.
There's always a sponsorship package available.
I thought, I'll get them in like the big packs. I'll save a bit of money then. I'll get them in a massive pack. Anyway, I worked out it's exactly the same price. It was exactly the same price. I think I might be saving like 20p. I was like, what's going on? What is going on?
Do you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is, right? It never comes down, right? So if you remember, it was the credit crunch, right? Then, if that weren't bad enough, we had COVID. If that weren't bad enough, the Suez Canal was fucked up, right? Yeah. And if that weren't bad enough, we then got Ukraine, right? But what makes me laugh is everything you buy suddenly needs to pass through the Suez Canal. Really? Yeah. Right? Then everything you buy, did you know that part come from Ukraine? What? No, it didn't. Right? So where does...
Brewdog,
it's
almost
almost
Scotland, like.
But that's what I mean. It's almost the price hikes are as a result of sometimes the political things that go on around the world.
Look, mate, it's maths.
Supply and demand.
It's economists, right? Someone said post COVID that what you're going to see is massive inflation, not for any other reason, because the world will be in so much debt. The only way to get rid of that debt is to devalue the currencies around, to devalue that. And the way to do that is inflation. And exactly that's that's happened. And it's just, most of it's absolute bullshit. A lot of it's to do with supply chain issues where people were running at that level, then they had to go right down to ramp to nothing, and then they're trying to ramp back up again after their staff have gone, you know. But, I mean, talk about a fiddle. That's a different episode altogether, is it? Because there's a documentary coming out actually, which is going to open up the wound about Americans' impact with that, involvement with that Wuhan.
Virus.
It's all going to come out. I mean, there was less people killed in that than flu epidemic, but the whole world shut down. Conspiracy theorists will tell you that was maybe not even a conspiracy. That was like a
overreaction, wasn't it?
A practice.
Oh, right.
Gosh,
do you know what I mean? How do you shut down the world? How do you shut down and control the people? That could have been a practice, but that's a complete thing. But while I've mentioned that in America, I've got an opposite of doing me head in a way. I'm actually finding the Trump scenario it's like a game show, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah.
You know, all those things that were doing me head in, and he's coming out with, you know, and so now I've written an order. There's only 2 sexes in the world. Now I'm not going to get onto the trans debate, but the one thing that does do me head in is that pronouns thing.
Oh, what, when they got it on the emails or something?
You know, him, he,
Him, her.
you know, she.
Them, they.
What is all that about? I'm sorry. You can be what you want. You know what I mean? I think I'm a fucking funny bastard, so my pronouns are he. But that's what's doing me nothing. But Trump's like, isn't it? Well, it's like watching something surreal, isn't it? It's like a series. If you didn't believe that was actually happening,
Tune in for the next speech.
Yeah. And how they treated that guy from Ukraine. And don't get me wrong, I've got my own opinions on that. I'm not getting political. But he was, you could see the inexperience of the guy. You know, personally, I thought he should have worn a suit, but that's me. I'd wear a suit if I was going to see a customer or supplier, you know, because that's what we're doing here. But he got fucking, he was battered by a couple of people there, wasn't he? I mean, but it's all done in the public.
Yeah, but it
I
came
don't
out
think
of
it was
nowhere.
planned. I don't think it was planned to be in the public eye like that. Like, I don't think they planned.
I don't
to
know.
have that.
I don't know.
I think everything he does is planned. Not planned. I'm not saying they set him up. I'm not going to get into that debate if they set him up or that. But everything he does, it's all about. I'm signing this today.
Yeah.
I'm signing that today.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the tax tariff thing is he's played that. He's played everybody that poker game, isn't he? You know, oh my God, Canada at 25%. So the first thing, and Mexico, the first thing he goes, oh, I'll get it if you get 10,000 troops to the border. So, you know, and then it's like, it's coming tomorrow. And then there's a bit of a reprieve.
Yeah, now they've like delayed it for a month.
Yeah, and it's like, he's playing everyone. It's actually great TV. I don't know if it's great politics. I don't know if we're
great
going to
for
be
the
here
world.
next week.
Yeah.
I don't know if someone's going to press the button, you know, but hopefully he hasn't got the key, the guy, you know, because...
He's definitely got the key.
I think we'll all be in
But
trouble.
the irony of the wearing the suit thing is like the week before, his own commander in whatever his name, Musk, was there with a baseball cap and
That's
thing
right.
in the office with his kid hanging off him.
I saw a funny.
Double standards a little bit.
I saw a funny thing, and it said that. It said double standards, and there was a picture of Musk, and it's got tick, and then it's got a picture of Zelensky.
But my point is that what it got me onto was with that thing is like everybody now has to label themselves. Why are we labelling ourselves? You just do who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't look at you and go, oh, that's a heterosexual man. Quite the opposite. You know, well, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Where's that banter gone?
This is the trouble. I think the world's gone a bit too serious. You know?
Well, I knew someone that was like a teacher, and they're like banter is bullying. That's like that's sort of bred within the schools. Banter is bullying.
But what type of banter? I agree with a certain thing. Like what's happened in the forces recently, where you had a young lady who committed suicide. That's not banter. That's sexual harassment. That's bullying to the form. Yeah. Banter's like what we just had there. Yeah, that's banter.
I think with banter as well, it's a form of camaraderie.
Yeah,
It's a bit of team building as well.
Yeah. And our industry's built on that, isn't it? You know, you've been in that, in that industry, and I feel that it's not just the industry; it's just life, isn't it? You know,
it's a lot of the comedians as well. Like the comedians are coming out and saying there isn't really going to be many jokes anymore because jokes are always at the expense of someone else. You know?
But that's what a joke is, isn't it?
But
exactly. Then
I
include everyone in that. But just.
I've seen some trends now where it's becoming a little bit fashionable for certain comedians to be completely the opposite and be really take it to the next level. Yeah. And some of that's a little bit uncomfortable. And I think it's because they're trying to prove a point rather than just be just normal, just have a joke, or just have a bit of fun. But anyway, so that's what's been doing my head in. You know, less pronouns, more, because we're going to have it on our labels. We won't have like one of the main labels soon. We'll have to have it written down. And how do you talk to you?
Walk around with an iPad showing. Let's say if you want to, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what's doing my head in.
Go on.
Right. I don't know if you guys have experienced this. I'm sure you have. What is it lately, right? When you go out to eat to a restaurant, right, and you think, oh, I need a wee. I'll be back in a minute, right? Why do I get the distinct feeling that when I go to the loo, right, I'm walking into an abandoned war bunker, right? it is like a war zone in there, right? I don't know whether it's not been cleaned or whether it's
is this before or after you've used it.
Before, right? Why is it? In fact, I don't even like.
Are you going into places they used to set a line up for you as well? On the side. Mate, where are you going, Mark?
Mate, I'm talking about generally restaurants. Is it that they've not bothered, like you said, lazy last week? Is it that the staff are lazy? They're not being cleaned, or is it actually that Joe Public's ramped up their hygiene? Or can you ramp it down? They've ramped down their hygiene, right? Because this is how it goes, right? You go in the toilet. What the fuck? It looks like it needs painting, and it looks like it needs a damn good mopping for a start, right? And then I've got to wrestle the door open. There's 10 ton of bog roll.
That's because someone's in there.
And nobody will leave their toilet at home like that, would they?
No, they wouldn't. Yeah, that's the thing. And then when you get in, there's one tap running, the other tap don't work. There's chewing gum in every sink and urinal and toilet. Nothing flushes. Nothing
well, I think that could be a bit of humour. Do you remember we were talking about that, Mark? About a bit of humour where that guy left an item of of that on a building site, and you said that the geezer was he ripping out cookers and.
It was a grill. He opened the grill.
And there was a
Richard III on
the grill. Yeah. So I used to know a geezer. Honestly, I used to know a guy, and he was a phantom like that. Yeah. And what he would do, he would do it, wrap it, and then leave it in someone's toolbox. And that was his thing. So maybe that's it. People maybe they're having a bit of a laugh and thinking, I ain't going to. But I agree with you. It's absolutely
It has got bad lately. If you I'm not being funny. If you go to, say, you take the kids into one of the chains of takeaway, anyone, right? And you think, I just need a wee or something. Yeah. They're all bad now. They're all bad. Yeah. What is it?
But I think if you stop eating in spearmint wine now in places like that,
no, that's clean now. I've started going now.
That's the thing, though. You're scared to touch the door after you wash your hands when you're on the way.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm elbowing my way in.
You're on tissue by the door closed.
Yeah, so I do like that.
Yeah. But if we're all doing that, everyone's doing it. There's no point. The handle's clean.
I was going to say that the handle's shiny. No, everyone's going like that on the handle now. We all got broken fingers. We can't pull the door with a little thing.
Yeah. Well, I can't do that, Mark. I can only have a wee outside. I can tell you that public. I can't.
What, on the side of the road?
No. I can't. Yeah, I'd rather go to like a number 2 on the side of the road than go in someone in the public toilet. I can't do that.
I couldn't do that. No. No. Sit down. Those places are sit downs out of the question.
I know, mate.
Let's write that off for a start.
He used to drive around in his van, and if he ever needed to go, he'd go into the back of his van and do it in a cup.
Oh,
What, have a wee in a cup?
Do it. No,
That's all
no,
right,
no,
that's all-
not a wee in a cup.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, number two.
Yeah. Or a bag. Or a
Yeah,
plastic
so
bag.
that's all right.
Yeah.
If you want to, but when the fucking lorry comes past you, you're like that
Yeah.
in the back of the van. Yeah. My mate used to do the same, but he used to have a bag of sand. He used to split
Bag
a
of
bag of
sand?
sand. Yeah, have one there and then and dig it out. Well, it's not a bad idea, really.
What, like a litter box? Cat litter box?
You got to go, haven't you?
What? Hang on. So he'd cut the bag.
He'd cut
open.
a bag of sand, he'd have a dump, and then he'd obviously shovel it out and put it in, throw it to the side of the road.
Wow. Innovation.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nice. Just imagine who's got to clean that up then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, crying out loud. Well, what's doing my head in? I don't know. It's not that political though, and it's to do with trains, yeah. But it's not the strikes
Are you
or
a
anything
train
like
spotter?
that. I'm a massive. No, I'm joking. It's not to do with the the strikes or anything like that. It's to do with the pricing of the trains and also train seats. Right?
They've gone up recently,
So
haven't they, prices?
the prices of the trains have gone up like stupid amounts, and now I had a rail card, but now I'm like turning 31. I won't be able to get a rail card for like 20 years until I'm like 50 or whatever, which is a nightmare. But there we go.
Well, you can get a rail together card with your girlfriend.
Yeah, you can do that.
As long as you travel together,
But you have
get
to travel
30
together.
30 quid.
Yeah, I was trying to see how I can blag that system somehow, like whether I could just like say that she's missed the train or something like that.
Just,
So
if you go with a mate, you just get him to wear a wig.
yeah.
Oh, no, that's what his
That'd be
mates
fine.
do anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, what are their pronouns?
I could do that, or I could say like, so I travel on my own quite a bit, like back and forward, like to go see mates and whatnot. And so if I got like a double on with my missus, then do you think I could just say, she bloody she missed the train? She missed the train. So
I think everyone
They'll
should
do
do
it.
it.
They try that. I've tried that before.
Have you?
What I found out, especially like you're probably talking from train, probably take from Wellingborough here. Yeah, I can't believe the cost on a return compared to a single. So they want 58 quid for me to go to London and back.
Yeah.
But if I go single, it's like 13, 14 quid and then 14 and back.
Yeah, and then
Apart
you've got-
from the other night, let me just say this. Right? St Pancras, what a shower. EMR, is it?
Yeah, EMR from Wellingborough.
EMR, yeah. Cancelled every train from like St Pancras to Corby.
Oh.
Every train, which was at £11.50 at that time of night, 10 o'clock. £11.50 one-way ticket. Because I had to get the Nottingham train. The first stop was Wellingborough, by the way.
Yeah.
58 quid.
What?
Really?
Strike me up.
What, for a
It
single?
was also they were like that. I could fucking see them on my phone, like, oh, you're taking a piss. You know what I mean?
Insane.
What are you on about?
But then
£58 one way.
my point was then as well. So train seats, right?
What's wrong with the train seats?
They're so uncomfortable. It's unreal.
You want to try being
the-
6 foot
it's-
three?
You know what I
I'm
mean?
gonna do what I
They're
do.
so uncomfy.
with
Like-
the free,
Yeah.
especially on a busy, it's got to be a real busy train on the free.
Yeah.
I like to lie down.
Yeah, it's still. I've tried it. It's still uncomfy. It's like you go to like Europe and places like that. Like train tickets are like half the price, and you get the nicest, biggest, comfiest seats, and they're lovely and they're clean and they're leather. So I don't know why we've got carpet like train seats. Yeah, why have we got carpet train seats right on our trains? They're absolutely filthy. Yeah, why is that? Why haven't they got leather so they can wipe it down? It's nice and clean.
Probably.
Yeah,
Cost,
but come on, and
You go to Germany, like you're saying, you get on there, and the trains the fare's half the price anyway.
yeah.
And you just wonder.
Yeah, they're
it's just
cleaner,
part of it's called rip
they're
off
like-
Britain, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah,
And their
it's
trains are faster,
ridiculous.
aren't they? They're
Yeah.
faster as well, aren't they?
Uncomfy carpet, rubbish bloody train seats. But there we go.
Do you know what it does?
It's doing
No,
my
but
head in, mate.
talk about my trip the other night. So it was 1 hour. I think it's normally 1 hour from Wellingborough to St Pancras, all right? Try and work this out, and it stops probably Luton,
Yeah.
Bedford, and Wellingborough. So it stops at least 3 or 4 times. Sometimes 4 or 3 times for an hour. Yeah, hour and 20 minutes, and on the first stop.
What?
What's he doing? What's he doing? He's just cruising along, isn't he? What's he doing? His arm on the shoulder.
Texting.
Yeah, pay rise.
Having a cocktail.
What is he doing? I mean, how does that work out? What's the maths of that? One stop, and it says on the side, high-speed train.
Do you know what it is? Do you know actually what it is? Right, when they notice some degradation in the rail, because of the cost of replacing the rail, they reduce this. This is true. They reduce the speed limit. Right, as it degrades further, they reduce the speed limit further. Degrades further, reduce. Then eventually, once it's degraded to a point you're down to 20 miles an hour, they'll cut that section out, and that will go into a shunting yard. Or a sidings, right. And then they'll put a new bit in. But actually, be interested to talk to someone in the know. But I was talking to a train driver the other day, and he was telling me, because it's now taken me, my train into London's meant to be an hour and 23 minutes, and for about the last 2 years, it's going over by 20 minutes. And I've noticed now, because I get the train up London back a couple of times, I've noticed it's exactly the same points. That we're going slow, like really slow, like walking pace. Yeah. And I've realised it's because, and I was talking to him about it, it's the degradation of the rail. So that's why your journey's, that's why you can have a high-speed train.
The whole rail is degraded.
Yeah.
Well, that's quite interesting, Mark.
Yeah.
Never mind, look, we're here with Carl today.
Yeah, well,
Managing Director, First Response Facilities Management, is that right?
That's correct, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, how did you get in the industry then, Carl? Give us some background. Where did you start?
I started off in the Armed Forces, so I was in the Royal Air Force Regiment back in 2000. Was on the Queen's Colour Squadron, so it was a ceremonial squadron and a field squadron. Did that for 4 years and then come out, and a natural progression at the time was to get into the security industry. So I've started from the bottom and worked up through the industry. Worked on sites, worked in head offices, managed staff, managed some good projects with some good tier 1 companies, and then got into starting my own company.
So what does that do, that company? What's your main...
So our main core business is we're a man guarding security company, but over the years we've diversified into other areas of the security industry. So we provide tech, we're now doing fire alarm installations, access control
temporary
systems,
fire alarm and temporary...
proper fire alarm installations.
Oh, okay, so not just construction site temps.
No, we're doing some works at the moment for retail outlets. We've done one for a major chain recently as well. All I can say is I like sausage rolls.
I know those, yeah. I went there this morning.
So what have you seen change over the years then? What's the main... What's changed in the industry on your sector?
I think the main change is people are starting to come away from like the manned security side into like the tech sort of side of security. But my feeling is that they both work well together. So the man guarding complements the technical side as well. Yeah.
And you do the dogs as well, don't you?
Yeah, so we do dog security. So your canines, your general purpose canines. We don't do really the explosive sort of canines or the drug detection.
In your opinion, as I'm talking from the perspective of being a deterrent, what do you find is the best deterrent today? Is it the man and dog, the tech? What if you're in construction and you're looking for and they want to talk to you about a deterrent?
Yeah.
In your opinion, what's the best deterrent?
I think the best deterrent is the manned security. It's always that manned element because you've got someone on the ground who can react to incidents rather than it going through to a control centre. They then call out a mobile patrol driver, which takes time.
A couple of big German shepherds, I think, would be scary enough for me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story about, I won't say the contractor, but I remember going, well, probably everyone...
I know who you're talking about, yes.
Everyone probably know it by the time I say. But I remember going into work and I got a phone call to get up to the boardroom quickly, and from one of the owners. And I thought, what's happened? It was one of them things like, you're either getting fired or the firm's shutting down. And at the time, I had this massive TV on the wall, and we were going back a few years. It was like an 80, it took most of the wall up. Hilarious. And they go, look, And all of them are in there. All the directors are in there. I'm thinking, what's going on? It's got to be like, it's an unregulated meeting. What's going on? And he said, look at this. And they just showed, because they used to have some dogs in the yard.
Oh, they were big.
And there was about 8 of them. Yeah.
Eight dogs.
And they had one night security guard that was always there, a bloke that worked for themselves, and he was always there 7 days a week. Tom, his name was, fantastic guy, really nice guy. And this guy, you see him on the CCTV climb over the gate, and God knows where he's going. And the car park was quite big, and he got to halfway from the car park, and these dogs were on him. And it was like a cartoon, and they were having a bit of a tear and all this and things like that. And everyone's laughing. Everyone's laughing at this guy's getting absolutely savaged. And then you see the nightman run round the corner, and you think, he must be going on the phone now, isn't it, to get the ambulance. What they've done is to start dragging the guy, pulling the guy. He starts pulling him. The guy's like, dogs are still having him, He's thinking, why did I jump over this fence? Yeah. Anyway, he got to him, and you could see, he's pulling him and getting something out of his pocket, the night man, and he's pressed the button, and this big, massive gate rolls open. And he gets him to the gate, and he just rolls. And there's a little bit of a slope, and you see the guy roll to the curb, press him, and they're going, give that guy a pay rise, he needs a bonus. And all the dogs are just walked away as if that was a normal Friday night for them. God knows what happened to this guy. Obviously, he wasn't that badly hurt. He never come back. He never come back. That was the point. So I think, dogs is my deterrent.
What happens in that situation? Who's then
sued if
liable? Yeah.
Lucky this was 25 years ago.
If a dog goes and really hurts someone that's clearly in a place where they're not supposed to be,
I think generally now, with the dog security, the dogs have got to remain on a leash. So you can't, like years ago, you used to let them roam around. You can't do that anymore.
Right.
What's the nasty or the funniest? Well, not even, don't even have to be funny. What's the story that you've got that was you heavily robbed, or it worked or it didn't work? Was there any save the day moments?
I don't think I've really had any save the day moments. I mean, I've been fortunate that the sites I have worked on and managed, that we've had no incidents, like no thefts, anything like that. So we always do well to
That's
look
a good
after
thing
our,
if you've got a security company,
properties and assets.
I remember you telling me a story, and it's a testament to how good your guys actually are. You told me a story once where the site manager was off, and a replacement site manager tried to come to site, and your guard refused him access. Yeah. He weren't allowed on. Yeah. And he,
a bit like today when we were trying to get into Charlie's.
Yeah, Charlie. Couldn't get in.
We couldn't get in.
Yeah, till we bribed the farmer. Yeah. But I mean, that's a great testament that your guys said you're not coming in, and the guy had to prove himself as the fill-in site manager, and then he was allowed on, wasn't he? So
he had to show ID to the security officer. The security officer then confirmed with the actual site manager if it was a real person or someone just trying to get in and steal stuff.
And what's, in your opinion, with all the bits you're involved in, what is, would you say, the most common thing that's happening? Is it kids trespassing? Is it theft? Is it just vandalism? Is it what would you? Is there a common thing that's happening at the moment, or?
I think at the moment it seems to be quite a lot of the plant theft that's going on. So I mean. Plant theft's quite big at the moment, and now with the diesel, they've gone from red diesel to now white diesel. That's now a target.
It's an easy target, isn't it? Because you can't rob a petrol station, but you can rob a construction site, can't you?
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, but that's the thing. When you actually look at it, what they've done is the government have taken paid services away. So what they've done is they've reduced police on the beat, replaced it with CCTV. Now construction sites now need their own security because there's no police anymore, right? So,
well, you also need security to stop people hurting themselves. I mean, I was involved in an incident once where a guy broke into site, climbed up a tower crane, and jumped off. We were liable for that.
Really?
Because we obviously, even though you can't do everything, can you, to protect that site, but. We obviously didn't do enough for that guy to make it as easy as it did to be able to get in and then get up the bloody tower crane. And I'm talking 20 odd years ago, but so you having that person there, that would have stopped that, because it would have been do one, mate. You know what I mean? Go and jump off someone else. It's not being funny.
Yeah.
You're going to do something else. Do it somewhere else. But yeah. So what challenges do you see now at the moment? What's your hardest challenge at the moment as the industry changes and turns?
The challenges at the moment are there's these small startup companies that are coming through, and they're not doing things the correct way. So they're undercutting. They're charging ridiculous amounts on charge rates. I mean, they're charging like £12-13 an hour. You can't, with all the national insurances, the pensions, holidays,
minimum wage.
Minimum wage.
Yeah.
You can't charge these sort of rates, so you're having to deal with that on a regular basis.
Also, it's a myth that that it's good for your business to pay people less money, because that you're putting somebody on site that's probably a tenner an hour. Yeah, they're going to be nicking off you.
Yeah.
Or they're nicking off the client, aren't they? They're going to be doing something else, not just what they're doing there. Yeah. Unless it's a part-time job where they're doing a bit of university and they're doing, they're not really then managing your site, are they?
No. I mean, with us, we're quite fortunate, because with the rates that I do charge, I make sure it's enough that the guys get over the minimum wage. So I don't pay minimum wage rates. I always make sure I can get a little bit more, because the guys on the ground are what look after the client's properties and their assets. Without them, then.
And then you'll have, I suppose, ultimately they are the coal face of your business, aren't they? They do a good job. They look after the assets. You win work, don't you? So
when it comes to like technology and those sorts of advancements that are coming in, because I hear a lot about things like AI, facial recognition, things like that. Yeah. I mean, I also wondered as well with regards to like people just wearing like balaclavas and things. Like, how easy is it to like track those people down? Do you deal with that side of it? Obviously, that'll go to the police.
With the tech side of stuff, I mean, it comes on leaps and bounds every year. There's new tech coming out, so you can put into like the analytics on AI. Yeah. Tell me if you see someone wearing a mask.
Really?
What temperature is that person, for example? So if they're walking towards you,
what temperature the person is.
You can see what temperature the person is just through the AI analytics.
So what does that tell you then? If they're like hot, they're probably like gearing up for.
Well, no, I mean they generally used it for COVID during COVID.
Oh, okay.
Time. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, but
so why is it so shit to catch someone on Crime Watch then? When the CCTV is always the worst CCTV,
isn't it? Yeah.
You know, you think,
have you
do
seen
you recognise this guy? And he's like that. You know, it's all blurred. Yeah. No, not really. It could be anyone. But
that was like 20 years ago though.
Yeah.
Come on leaps and bounds in the last.
Has it?
Yeah, the last few years.
It's mad, because I got a ring doorbell the other month, and that's amazing. That is, because it'll tell you you've got like a package zone that you can put. So if someone's like comes in and like puts a package down, like you got delivery, it'll then like clock that there's a package there, and obviously it will tell you. And then I guess I haven't got to this point, but if someone took it away, I guess it would tell you if that happens as well.
Is that not going to get your anxiety? It would to me. Why haven't I got a ring doorbell? Because it's bad enough getting robbed, but having to watch yourself getting robbed, or knowing that someone's nicked your Amazon parcel when you really wanted it. Well, you know, people on holiday. Well, I'm not saying they deserve to get robbed, but you know, when they go on Facebook and go, "We're here, we've all arrived," and there's someone going, "Oh, fucking Johnny, Johnny's off down
Johnny Big Bollocks tags in the Maldives, having just arrived, having a great time. Going to be a great couple of weeks."
But that would get my anxiety levels going crazy.
Yeah.
No, I think it gets me more anxious if I don't know what's going on, really. I think, because I get like an alert and it says like, oh, someone's at your front door, or there's motion detected or whatever, so I can see that. I guess, I haven't got to the point where I'm actually watching myself being robbed live on stream, but that would cause me quite a lot of anxiety.
You'd have a crack though, wouldn't you, if you was a burglar? You know, hello, can I help you? Yeah, I'm in the bath at the moment. Oh, yeah? You better get out, mate, because I'm about to rob your house. See how long it takes you.
Just give me the dry.
You're crazy. You're never in the bath. No. You know, you're always at work.
There was a. I'll tell you what. There's a skill you can get. This makes me laugh. There's a skill you can get for your Alexa if you've got that, and you can choose from a number of sounds depending on what you want. You can have dogs barking.
Yeah.
You can have washing up. You know, like dishes going clunk 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 and the knives and forks. You can have all of that.
It's like Home Alone.
Yeah. So if
You
you've
used to
got
have that in a pub, remember? Years ago, a guy invented that, and you paid, and like you went in the phone box. And there was a little phone box thing in the pubs way back in the 80s, and you'd go in there and you could choose where you were. So it'd have office background or it'd be street background and all that. And you'd be going, 20 minutes. I'll be 20 minutes.
just on site.
Yeah,
That is amazing.
Said like rather than now, you've got a text her say, "I'll be home in 20 minutes." In 20 minutes' time, if I'm not home, just have a look at that text again. So technology is. Yeah, look, we love a bit of tech on this pod, especially Charlie loves a bit of tech.
I do like a bit of tech.
So, what is there at the moment that stops people nicking the diesels, or is there anything out there? Is it all about? Because I've seen them tripod type of
the Daleks and all the things like that.
Well, I'm not seeing them.
Yeah, so there's a little like Dalek that sits in the middle of the I suppose it's C. Well, you tell us what it is.
Yeah, so we've got like a centripod system that we use. It's based on the Dalek systems. A lot better though. But yeah,
Doctor Who won't agree, though, would he?
Motion sensors, CCTV, but it only activates it in the event of motion.
Right.
And then you'll get like a video footage of what you can see on the screen.
Well, is it like 360? Like.
Yeah, so they're 360 round the unit, and you can place them wherever you want. So they're movable. So you just put them around the plant, around the high value items.
Yeah. And they talk as well, don't they?
Yeah,
they go. You've been detected. So move away. Or so if you was nicking it.
What are they a week? What they come in at? What do you know?
So they
go high, obviously, because you.
Yeah, they range depending on the number that you order. So it can range from like £80 up to about £125 a week.
Oh, it's like good value, really, isn't it?
Yeah, for
really
what you're getting.
value.
Yeah, and then I suppose. Do you offer something like if someone's not sure what they want or they're not sure where they want it, but they just know they need security? Do you talk them through that, or do you go to site? Or
so we'll always go to site. We'll do a free site survey. We look at the area, look what valuable items are on site, what high value items are there, and then we assess the risks, and then we tell the client what our recommendations will be.
So that's got quite a good safety aspect there as well, isn't it? If you've got a big site, you've got those cameras all around the site, and you back that up with a guard on site. You know that the guard knows what he's going into, doesn't he?
Yeah.
What he's up against, rather than walking around. In the old days, you walk around a container and someone puts a shovel over your head.
Yeah.
And so that's a good innovation. What's the future then? Do you know what the future is?
I'd like to think there's still going to be like a manned element to it, because that is what my business is ultimately, is providing staff. But yeah, it's just technology is just gonna keep going and keep progressing.
But you don't just do guarding on construction sites, do you?
No. So we do construction, utilities, infrastructure projects. We work with local authorities. We've worked with the hospitals in the past as well.
Is that side of it permanent? Like, so you'll just have a contract to put it all in?
Yeah, so generally you'll get a contract for a 3-year contract or 2-year contract with a +1 on it.
So I find it interesting. Like, how do you? I know there's certain qualifications that you obviously need to be a security guard, and they're quite stringent. But how do you, like, sort of convince your clients to trust you guys as well? Because obviously there must be that sort of, element of, trust issues really that some clients might have. Is there anything you do?
I think with clients, clients buy from people. So
yeah, relationship.
It's the relationships you build. They'll always. I don't like to see or say the thing that the clients buy from big companies, because I'll go to a site and they'll buy from me. Mm-hmm. I'm the one that's in front of them. They see me. I build that relationship. They know what they're getting.
That trend in procurement changes every 6 or 7 years. Someone comes up with an idea, says, well, let's consolidate our supply chain. And then they realise that sometimes it's better to have a regional support structure. It's a little bit cheaper, and then dealing with smaller companies sometimes can spread the pain. where it's easier to pay. You know, cash flow wise. I mean, when you consolidate your supply chain, you've now got 5 massive bills to pay. Whereas you used to have 50 smaller bills, and you could
play them all off, yeah,
pay
a little bit.
one here and one there, and everyone else. So there's a change in attitudes all the time, and you can't keep up with it, can you really? But I think you're right. It's about relationship. It always has been in our business. And construction's quite a relationship-driven industry still, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I think because of what we do, you know, it's quite humanised, isn't it? You know, because it's not straightforward. If someone's building something, there's a lot of changes, there's a lot of snagging, there's a lot of things that might change, the plans might change, the methodology might change, even the material might change because of what you've... So there's always going to be in construction, I think, lots of conversations. And I think people in construction, when you think about it, once you build it, once you finish it, to go back to rectify a mistake is very, very costly. So I think in our industry, people do want to chat, because I want to make sure face to face that you've got my materials, and you've got my excavators, and you've got my security. I think people want genuine face to face assurances that the services offered are going to be provided. And that's a great thing, because so many other industries have gone transactional. And I think that's really bad, isn't it? Because, you know, we've all done it. We're buying things online, and it's okay when it's good. Transactional's okay when everything goes right. I'll give you a funny story. I needed some wood filler, right? And I ain't got no time, so I thought I'll just order it on Amazon, right? So then it says to me the following day, oh, I only got a little tube like that. You
did a bit of DIY, man?
Yeah, I was, yeah. It went all right. Well, not perfect, so I wouldn't need the wood filler. Right? But I just needed a little bit of wood filler. I put a lock on one of the doors, but where my chisels were a bit blunt and all the rest of it, I've got the thing in, but I just wanted to neaten it up. It looks good now, actually.
We're a great advertisement for construction at this moment.
Yeah. So anyway, this wood filler turns up. I knew straight away, right? I knew straight away it'd been done, because I picked it up, and it had the consistency of a rock. I thought, this has fucking gone off, isn't it? Right? and I thought I might be able to get a little bit out of it. That's what I'm thinking. And I've just I've undone the top, and I've pulled the little metallic lid off. And I thought I'd just give it a little squeeze, see what, because it's like trying to squeeze this desk. And I've gone like that, and a load of white water's come out, right? And now I'm left, that's all over the carpet, by the way, right? And now I'm left with this, I can't even, and I'm going like this, I'm literally going, right? And this tiny little weep comes out, and I managed to just go around the thing. And I emailed, like, so if that was fine, that would be fine, right? But now I'm thinking, oh my God, I've got to go on Amazon and like, how do I tell them? And I had the ump with it, I'm not going to binned it, right? So I'm thinking, if they want it sent back.
It takes 2 minutes on Amazon, just go and say I didn't get the product was crap.
Well, I did do that. To be fair to Amazon, I said I told them what was wrong with it. The product was crap. I was kind of hoping they weren't going to ask me to send it back, because I got the right raving up with it. I literally got it like a tube of trying to squeeze some wood.
Because they got to pay for that return. So that's why they don't do it. And they give
because it was £3, the thing, right? But anyway, but my point is, in transactional business like that, it's okay when it's okay. When there's an issue or a problem, it's a massive problem.
Is that why, though, when I was around yours the other day, you got that big escutcheon around the fucking door lock, like about that big now? It's about the size of a football, just covering
when you lock the door, the whole lock goes.
It covers the whole hole, everything, half of the door. I thought it was a feature. It's obviously not.
No, the door's hollow now. I've chiselled too much out, you know what I mean? But I actually I watched a YouTube video on how to fit a lock. And then that's how I done it. Where I went wrong, and I'll be quite honest with you, it says, my drill's not very good either. It says you get an auger, and you got. So I've marked it all out and everything like that, and you got to drill it out of this auger. Well, I ain't got an auger. I've got a wood bit, but I ain't got an auger. So I'm doing this wood bit, and of course I need a bigger hole than what I got. So every time I try and it slips. So I've now gone into the bits that I don't want to do. And so anyway, there was a few bits I need to wood fill.
Give me a shout if you need any tips, mate.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're the If I'd watched your YouTube video on DIY
Yeah,
tips,
you should.
I would have thought of it.
How can you take the piss? He's built a whole house. You can't even fit a lock.
I actually done a great job, right? I just needed a little bit, and I stressed a little bit of wood filler. That was it. Just to neat, and I said to you, to neaten it up. Charlie would have needed a 20-ton tipper of wood filler.
So Carl, getting back to you and being a business owner, what makes you different staff-wise? What kind of issues have you got there? Do you do your own training, for example?
So we outsource training to providers that we use. So they generally help us with the training side of things. So
But
CSCS.
How do you keep? And I'm not being disrespectful to the level, but we're talking about entry level people into construction now, aren't we? You know, near minimum wage type of. How do you keep those people on board? What do you? Is it?
I think the thing with us is people generally enjoy working for us. Because we're a small company, they enjoy that.
Feel part of the team.
They feel part of the team. They enjoy that interaction with the management team. We're always going out to see the guys and girls on the ground.
And you've expanded recently because you're national now, aren't you?
Yeah, so we've got camera solutions all over the UK. We've got cleaners all over mainly all over the UK as well, yeah. So Wales, Scotland.
Cleaners as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
How are you finding breaking into cleaning?
I broke into cleaning during COVID, funny enough, with the COVID cleaning. Then it went on to builders cleans. Now we do like office cleans.
Might have to get you around my house. Mate.
I don't know if you want a 20-ton machine. Is it?
Oh no, fair. No, it sounds good.
That's really good that you've managed to see a niche and diversify into that.
And sorry.
Go on.
Yeah, I was going to say out of curiosity because I speak to people all the time that have come out of the forces and they're sort of going into sort of civilian life, if you like, working for people, starting businesses up. How did you find that transition? Sorry. Yeah.
Initially, I found it difficult because you've come out from being told what to wear, what time to be somewhere, where you can eat, all that sort of stuff, and then you thrown into Civvy Street and there's nothing, you're on your own. You're fending for yourself really. And I can understand why a lot of people from a military background end up on the streets because they've got that.
We found it particularly hard with engineers in the industry at one time, where the engineers you think they would be very highly qualified to come out, and they were, but they were very, as you said, they were used to being told what to do all the time. And when you then having to, and it took a long time for the industry to realise that, and now it's slightly different. We expect, I suppose it's down, as you say, it's making that change to say, yeah, I can do that and make my own, but the military's got to be a certain way for a certain reason, hasn't it?
How did you manage to break through that, like that sort of, being told what to do, to then obviously you've gone from one extreme to the next where you're the business owner?
Determination really, and just cracking on with it. I mean, I've always been a grafter, so you just got to get on with it and pull yourself through.
What's the next step then? Is it just more of the same, or is there anything like you've got tucked away that you're going to try and get into?
Recently, we've just expanded into doing like construction work as well. So we've done our first project office fit out job for a construction company, which is a really tough job, but we got there in the end.
So complete like fit out office.
Strip out of a building that the client's going to use as their project office for the next 2 years. Strip the whole lot out and then refit it all, decorated, painted, new doors.
Well, I passed the board, all that kind of thing.
All of that, Mark, so I can come around your house and do that.
I'll fit a lock for you, mate.
Yeah, don't ask Mark.
So you're getting right into that facilities management type of...
so we're more of a multi-service company, so we do quite a few different services.
Do a bit of everything. Nice.
I used to be in the old FM game, especially but more on the soft side, like on the furniture side and stuff like that,
So with Darren, our friend Darren, was it?
No, it wasn't actually, but I did the funny enough, I don't know what's going on with LinkedIn at the moment, but a girl contacted me that I hadn't spoken to for many years, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, she's interested she runs this big FM company, and all she's trying to do is sell me a bit of Bitcoin. I just think, what's going on with LinkedIn? I don't even know LinkedIn, but it's you either talking to people you're not actually talking to, you're talking to people that are hacked, or they think it's Facebook. They don't think it's Facebook. Oh, this isn't. I know. This isn't a business thing, but my little dog Noodles. Just walked around. Just potty trained her type of thing. You're like, yeah, it ain't business. Put it on bloody Facebook. What's going on?
Do you know what's doing mine with LinkedIn, right? And I'm getting the same email from loads of different people. So there's obviously there's not a lot of people that run 3CXs now. So it's really strange how they've chose 3CXs. Yeah. And it says, oh, hi Mark, right? And I'm getting this on LinkedIn and email, but they're getting my email from LinkedIn, right? And it says, hi Mark, would you like some help with B2B 3CX? They don't even know what 3CXs are, right? I can tell because of the way they put. Would you like some help with? We've got a list of B2B 3CX clients. Now, anyone in our industry will know that the actual usage of 3CX has died right down for a number of reasons we've spoken about on this pod before. Big operators, stuff like that, right? So, of all the lists you could offer me as a plant hire company, yeah, the least one I actually want is 3CXs. That's like me saying, that's like me saying to a car dealer, just to put that into perspective. That's like me going, would you like a list of all the owners of
S-Class Jags?
Yeah, something obscure like, I don't know, Subaru P1s. Oh, okay, so they only made 500. Right, okay, in the world.
No, what it is what they do is they say, look to your profile, really thought, make a good connection, just want to connect really, have a chat.
Yeah, and
then all of a sudden you go, yeah, all right, he's in there. And then all of a sudden, oh, thanks for connecting. Do you know we sell apples and pears and do you want some of them? You're like, you haven't even looked at my profile. The amount of people that try and sell me crap, and the amount of, my God, people that haven't owned businesses, haven't even been in a high level, but are now a super coach. There was a guy the other day. He's probably 20, and he was 23 years. I no disrespect, he could be the brainiest guy in the world. He's contacted me to tell me how to grow and some leadership kind of training.
I think we'd have a way around, wouldn't it?
I think, Jesus, mate, like learn a little bit first. But it seems to be like, people don't know what to do, or they're in between work and they become a coach or an expert.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's all LinkedIn is at the moment. It's just doing my nutting. But we'll digress.
Yeah, I was going to say, Carl, I mean, if someone's operating a construction site at the moment, then what does the standard sort of setup look like when it comes to security there? Like, what would you say that they would need?
Well, generally we'd offer a gate person, so like a day security officer that deals with the incoming and outgoing deliveries, people, visitors, and then over night time you'd have your night security that's basically just patrolling the sites and securing the site. Yeah,
and then what about like the cameras and that sort of thing?
The cameras, generally we would put the cameras around the external perimeters of any sites, so to view access points, any weaknesses or any areas where there's vulnerabilities.
Okay. Yeah, I just wondered, because I guess there'd be people listening here thinking that they need, security on their site. So they're thinking, what is there available out there in terms of like options? So is there anything else at all?
There's quite a bit on the market at the moment. I mean, you've got the rapid deployment CCTV towers, you've got the Daleks, the sentry pods that we do. You've got the fixed installations as well.
Yeah.
You've even got the light bar systems, like that pick up any intruders as well.
Right. What are they then? So they light bar systems.
So they're like a system that's infrared, and as soon as someone jumps over a fence, it then breaks the infrared beam, and then it sends a signal to an arc to say there's someone on site there.
So where does that feed to then? Is there like a central? I mean, obviously you wouldn't tell me that, but but like does that sort of feed to like one person that's like managing that for all of the sites, or is that like?
So generally it go to an arc, so an alarm receiving centre. They would then pick up and then deploy mobile security, notify the clients, depending on what the client's got in place at the time.
Yeah, and would they notify the police, that sort of thing as well?
Yeah.
Have you ever had anything, I might be putting you on the spot here, but is there anything that you've sort of managed as a site and let's say, I don't know, someone's managed to get away with stealing anything, or has it been like quite a good success?
I haven't at the moment. I've had quite a good success in.
Well, that's been
in
great
my
to shout out.
business career.
Yeah.
I've not had any thefts or any issues like that on site.
That's excellent, isn't it?
That's a great record. We've
That
spoken
is
about
really
that
good,
before,
yeah.
haven't we? That you probably don't jump up about that enough, because you know what we were saying about getting some sort of, when you're face to face dealing with people, getting assurances. You know what? If a security company's been going as long as you have, stood in front of me and said,
Yeah.
"This
I've
is
had
what I do, A, B, and C." By the way,
stolen
I've
anything.
never had any like thing stolen from my sites
That's
on the ones
insane.
I manage. That's 100%. That's
bet-
100% hit rate.
I
isn't
bet
it?
there's
Like-
not many. Yeah, there can't be many companies that could say that. To be fair, that's really impressive.
And for our green, we last week we spoke about hydrogen on this podcast, and I remember from our conversations in the past. So you might want to remind us, for the listeners, you do some stuff that's hydrogen or ammonia. Doesn't run on diesel. Do you want to talk me through that?
That's the rapid deployment CCTV towers. So we've gone on to solar towers now, but you've also got the ethanol solar towers as well.
Ethanol, is it? Yeah.
So what's ethanol? So they'd have to top that up like fuel, and then that'll just
So the ethanol that we use, it comes in like a 10-litre
Cartridge, is it?
Cartridge, yeah, and then it lasts for 60 days with the solar power.
wow, that's really good. Do you do events?
We don't do events now. No, it's one of the areas where I'd try to steer clear of.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I've seen because way back when I used to go and like volunteer at like Boardmasters, like the big festival down in Cornwall, and that was it's an amazing experience. So if anyone's ever wants to do that, go for it. Like you spend like three 8-hour shifts. That's what you do. So you work there obviously for free. You get like 3 meal tokens as well whilst you're there. You stay in like a certain area, so not with all like the ravers and stuff like that. You got all nice, like, well, I say nice. You got showers. You got like, you know, decent portaloos, that sort of thing. But the operation behind it, like the actual CCTV and all of the security behind that. I mean, they've got drones flying up everywhere. It just looks absolutely insane. So I definitely don't blame you for staying clear of that. Do you have like drones and stuff?
No. Yeah, we generally tend to steer clear of that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Is there a reason for that? Or?
No, it's just something that I don't know anything about, so I don't offer that as a service.
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
suppose it's more of a surveying sort of thing, drones, isn't it? 'Cause
Possibly, yeah.
On site,
Yeah, I guess if you've got them 360 like Daleks, then you're all right.
You're
aren't you,
covered,
really?
aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, decent. Well, that sounds very good.
So, is there anything else going on, Carl, that you want to cover? We just cut.
No.
So,
All good.
how do people get? We'll cut that a little bit out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, how do people get hold of you then, Carl? What's your bits and pieces, your details there?
So
Website we need to know.
website address www.firstresponse-fm.co.uk.
Simple as that.
Brilliant.
Happy days.
Lovely.
Oh, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks
Thanks for
much,
coming,
Carl.
Carl.
Long way to
Wish you
come,
all the best.
but you know,
Thanks for
same with
having me.
Mark.
That's it.
You know,
Early
I
bird.
can't believe you didn't give him a lift.
I don't come past him. You make out just because you're from up north, you make out that everyone from south must pass each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you maybe. Do you know what I looked it up the other day? You know, you said to me, I was in this place called Witherham, it's Westerham, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Is it Westerham?
Where do you
Is it
pick-
Westerham? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You don't. You're like up north.
No,
from
no,
now.
I'm not. I'm not from the north. Let's get that right. Yeah. I'm from London.
You are now.
And Kent
Yeah.
is not London.
I didn't say Kent was London.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to get. So
Yeah, but Kent
I don't
ain't
know
Essex.
anywhere in Kent. Yeah. I come to Kent to like get out of Kent. That's what I do. Because I enjoy the drive home.
Well, you come to Kent because you wanted to feel better about yourself, and then
That's it.
Yeah,
The sun shines down there, Mark. You're down there, and I just go down there and see a customer.
Do you know, when
that
I
was
was-
a good curry the other night. Thanks.
that was
for
a
that.
really nice curry, actually. Yeah, I enjoyed that. It was good.
It was
So I
good.
told you, it'd be a good bit of food.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
You didn't invite me for a curry, Mark.
Yeah,
Well,
It was last minute.
it was last minute.
You obviously don't live down there, do you? You know.
Exactly, because I didn't go past his house on the way up.
That was good. What was the curry house called?
Yeah, that was called The Taste of Bengal.
The Taste of Bengal. So yeah, if you want to send any curry in from the Taste of Bengal,
Oh, yeah, we'll have that. If you want to sponsor, me and Mark want a free curry every now and again.
yeah, if we want to go in there and get that. It's lovely. It was nice. Very, very polite guy as well.
It was Ash. Nice guy, yeah. We had our chicken chat, didn't we, to start with?
Do they have good toilets?
Did they have good toilets?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Actually, they were all right, weren't they? Although you dropped your phone all over the place in there, didn't
Yeah,
you?
drop the phone. It was a bit like I'll get you. Yeah, it was a bit like 1970s school toilets, you know,
Okay.
where everything's set in stone.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like,
Yeah, and the pipe goes up to the tank. And
Selling that well too.
Yeah, no, the food. You don't eat the food in the toilet.
You don't. If you're doing that, something's wrong, isn't it? So
That's it. That was nice food.
Well,
Yeah.
I went for a curry the other day in Brick Lane, and I went into the toilet as you do, and the urinal was missing.
no.
Someone's nicked it, Carl.
All the plumbing was there, but the urinal was gone, and I'm like, where the
Trying to get it in the hose. Try and get it in the.
sink? Main toilet.
They need security, mate, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what? Things.
Get
I
myself
know.
in there. Give
I know, like,
curry.
I know, like the cost of living's getting hard and that, but going into Indians and nicking your
urinal.
urinal, you obviously got trouble at home, haven't you? You know what I mean? You ain't got that on eBay again, have you? Along with your
Oh,
other bits
mate,
and
that
pieces.
would be
Mark's
actually-
radiators and the Brick Lane urinal.
Mate, you could earn a fortune. You could earn a fortune nicking your idols. I tell
Do you
you.
remember the funniest? I don't know why it come into my head about urinal, but a mate of mine was on that. Do you remember Jeremy Beadle?
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
used to go around and set people up, didn't he? What was it called?
I bet it was about.
Was it Beadle's about?
Yeah, yeah.
You're being framed, weren't it?
No, that was the videos that they send in.
Right.
But when he used to do, you're talking about the 80s, when he used to do the show,
And he would smash your car, but it wasn't your car, was
yeah,
it?
they've replaced it.
Well,
Yeah.
my mate was moaning because he walked down the road and you've got a gap between one set of houses, a bit of wasteland, and his house, you know, and people would come back from the pub and have a piss up the wall of his house, you know. So he complained to him, and that, as a wind up, we all got together and wrote into old Beatles about. It wasn't called Beatles About was the bit, but there was an actual show because with Sarah Kennedy was it, and him and Matthew Kelly.
There was, yeah, that was
and all
that was
yeah.
the program before. That was three
I
of
can't
them.
remember the
Yeah.
bloody program. But they come along and they fitted, like as he come home, they were fitting a load of urinals
What, to the wall?
to the wall, like as a crack. And like he's going, what the fuck are you doing? You know, what's going on here? And obviously old Beatles come out and he's going, you know, there's a council but and he was so angry he couldn't see the wood for the trees. He couldn't see it. It was hilarious. You can get it on YouTube.
Really? Yeah.
And, yeah, just imagine that coming home and they just, well, you know, you complained, sir. You complained about people having a pee up your side of your house, so we thought we'd make it a bit more hygienic.
Oh, that program was brilliant, though, wasn't it? I watched it. Funny enough, these clips keep coming up on YouTube or whatever, and there was one where there's like a B&Q or something like that, and it's by a dock. And what they've done is they've stitched it up so that all the car parking spaces are taken apart from one, which backs onto the dock, right? Then, so he's parked, his missus is obviously in on it. She said, I'll park there, Bob, you know. So he's parked there and they've gone into B&Q. And then they sort of made some of the cars go, and then there's a lorry that's come in, he's gone the wrong way and he needs to turn. And what they've done is replace the car. They obviously hired the car and put a fake one down that looks just like it. He's changed the reg. And what he's done is, as he's come out of B&Q, because his wife wanted, we better buy some wood for something. As he's come out, the lorry's gone bang, like knocked the car and it's gone in the dock. He's gone, oh my God. All right, but people used to get so riled up on that program.
Yeah, it was funny.
But I think the level of violence has got worse now, and I think if that program was around today,
Oh yeah, there'd be some
there'll be a fight on every other one, I think, wouldn't there?
It will get, yeah. I mean, the things they used to get up to. I mean, they picked a car at the docks. They picked a guy's car, and it was a certain car. I can't remember. I think it was like a Capri, but the pattern around it and the coloration and all that. It was like you knew that was his car supposedly, and they'd done all that. And he's going, "Why are they picking my car up? Why are they picking my car?" And then all of a sudden it drops down. You know? You can just see the fight. Yeah. But brilliant. Well, thanks guys. Anyway,
Nice.
thanks for
Thanks for coming in, Carl.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries.
The opinions expressed within this podcast are solely the individuals and do not reflect the opinions and beliefs of the sponsors or its affiliates. The opinions expressed within this podcast are solely the individuals and do not reflect the opinions and beliefs of the sponsors or its affiliates.